Are you unemployed and want to further your education, upgrade your skills, or explore a new trade, career, or occupation? If so, California Training Benefits, known as CTB, may be right for you.
What is CTB?
CTB helps unemployment insurance UI customers receiving benefits become more competitive in today's labor market. In this video, you'll learn about the benefits of CTB and how to qualify and apply for this program. Let's start with the benefits of CTB. If you're approved for CTB, you can receive UI benefits while attending school or training full-time. You'll also be exempt from the weekly UI eligibility requirements to be available for work, actively look for work, and accept work. You may also qualify for a training extension, TE, with up to 26 weeks of additional UI benefits while you complete your school or training. This allows you to focus on your studies and new career. While CTB allows you to further your education and upgrade your skills and find your next job, CTB does not cover any training-related expenses such as tuition, books, or fees. But you may be eligible to receive state, federal, or private financial aid. Visit www.studentaid.ed.gov to learn more. Get started. First, notify the EDD that you're interested in CTB. This can be done online through UI Online or Ask EDD, by phone at 1-800-300-5616, or in person at your nearest America's Job Center of California. You can also let us know when you file or reopen your claim. Remember, to be eligible for additional weeks of UI benefits through a training extension, you must notify the EDD prior to receiving your 16th week of benefits. Next, you'll want to explore your options. Visit the CTB homepage at www.edd.ca.gov/CTB and select one of the links in the Eligible Training Category section to see a list of pre-approved training programs and eligible training providers in your area. Once you've decided on your school, training, or new career path, there are two ways to qualify for CTB. The first option is to choose from the pre-approved training programs and eligible training providers listed on the EDD website. These include government-organized programs and those sponsored by unions, trade associations, and employers that last longer than 3 weeks. Each training type is also a clickable link to find out more information about it. When selected, additional details about the training will display. If you don't find what you're looking for, you can arrange and fund your own training, providing you meet all of the following CTB criteria. You must be unemployed or have your hours significantly reduced for 4 or more continuous weeks and unlikely to return to your most recent work. You may qualify if a mental or physical disability prevents you from using your existing occupational skills. Your training must be related to an occupation or skill that is in demand, full-time, typically 20 hours per week, or 12-semester units or equivalent quarter units, accredited by the federal or state government, and completed in a reasonable amount of time, generally within 2 years. You must also be able to successfully complete the program even if you run out of UI benefits before your training is over. Once you've decided on your training program, contact the EDD as soon as you begin your school or training to start the CTB eligibility approval process. You can notify the EDD by answering yes to question number 5 on the continued claim form for the week in which you start your training, online through UI Online or Ask EDD, by phone at 1-800-300-5616, or in person at the nearest America's Job Center of California.
What happens next?
You may receive a questionnaire or be scheduled to a telephone eligibility interview to discuss potentially qualifying for CTB. If you receive a questionnaire, complete and return the form as soon as possible to avoid payment delays.
How do I know if I'm eligible for CTB?
Once the EDD has collected and verified all of your CTB information, the status of your CTB eligibility will be mailed to you. If you're eligible, you'll receive a notice stating that you've been approved. If you're not eligible, you'll receive a notice explaining why you're not eligible to participate in CTB. If you don't agree with the decision, you can appeal it by following the instructions provided with the notice.
What if CTB isn't right for me, or I can't commit to a full-time class schedule?
You can still attend online or classroom training while receiving UI benefits, providing you meet all the weekly UI eligibility requirements, be available for work, actively look for work, and accept work. However, you would not be eligible for additional weeks of UI benefits. For more information, refer to the Additional Resources section on the CTB webpage. Here you can find training resources for job seekers, including hyperlinks to the eligible training provider list, FAQs, and labor market information. Unsure of what should be your new career? Visit the EDD's Labor Market Information page at www.labormarketinfo.edd.ca.gov to quickly research the fastest growing jobs, in-demand occupations, and wage information in your area. Thank you for your interest in CTB.